प्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs and the life force become efficient, powerful. All is verily the one without second, ever perfect, ever blissful, all-pervading, conscious existence called Brahman. May I never deny Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either because of my shortcomings. I pray that may all the virtues required to experience this truth in life be with me. Om. Peace. 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 Let us feel the all-pervading nature of the truth, the Brahman, by feeling that we are all like water bottles. Imagine we are like different bottles of water. Let us feel the substance inside these bottles. Externally, the bottles were different and distinct from each other. I can see that the substance in all is the same. We all are filled with the same one substance. Everything is filled with the same one substance. that substance being all pervading. It is one without second. It is beyond time, beyond space. I am actually that. Thus, I have no desires, for I am all pervading. I alone am. What can I desire? I am thus bliss itself. I am peace itself. Let us hold on to this awareness. Om. Peace, peace, peace. We had started the discussion on the book number 8, and we saw that there was this Mano. That Mano is that there are various Manos. Each whole cycle of Brahma is divided into 14 different sections. They are called that Manvantara. And for each of those cycles, there is the one who begins that, whose progeny spreads over. There was nothing, and then something started. So that starting becomes the governor of that particular cycle called Manvantara. So this Manvantara that we were seeing, that it is that uh, it is that they the the prayer that we were looking at was that of the uh, Vaivasvat Manu. So, no, Swayambhuva Manu. And that is the now concluding thing. Then there are other Manu stories. And then we are in the cycle. It is said that we are presently in the cycle of Vaivasvat Manu. So this Vaivasvat Manu is what we are all in a way progeny of. And we saw that, but let us begin with our opening chants. Mm. Chant as loudly as you can. What, Ashutosh, you can chant loudly? Okay, let's hear. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with Vedic revelations, whose wisdom is the wonder of the greatest sages, in whom the world of three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. So, Swayambhuva Mano, now his cycle is getting finished. The Prahlada's story was kind of the end game of his life. And so he decided to move to the forest, and there he started performing austerities to realize God. It is said that he stood on one leg for 100 years, which is kind of toning down, just 100 years, In this Bhagavatam, nothing happens, at least 1000 years are needed, So here it is said only 100 years he was standing on one leg, and then he recited a hymn to praise the Supreme. It is a beautiful prayer that it is. We will read a little bit from it. That mainly he is saying that he is Swayam Prakasha, the universal self-luminous awareness. A very important idea in Vedanta, that God is self-illuminating. Its luminescence can never ever go away. All the lights that you see luminous, but if the power goes away, all of them are going to be dark. So even the power, the light of sun would get obstructed. Right now there is no sun's light that you can see. It is when it is very clouded, even the moon and starlight will not be able to be seen. Uh, and then we, in such state, we try to see with our other organs, touch hand here, touch hand there, or by sound. It is sometimes, therefore, when you hear some footsteps, then you say, I am here because nothing is being seen. So you don't want to collide against somebody. So you give a sound because this visual signals are not getting received. So you see by using sound. In that, there is the Scientific American in the library. I was just looking at it. It says this seeing by the sound waves. They can be changed into the light waves. It is possible. We do it really all the time. We don't call it converting the sound into light, but what it means is that the longitudinal waves get converted into transverse waves. Like I am talking, but what you are listening is from the sound system, all that big speaker. How the sound gets there? First, this microphone changes these sound waves into the electromagnetic waves, which are this in a way same like light waves, so far as they are transverse waves, both of them. So, and those again, when they go to the that speaker on the top, again there is a reverse thing goes on. Those transverse waves, they get converted into longitudinal waves. So these days it is done digitally. The digital way, this means are used for this conversion rather than the regular these analog and mechanical means, that earlier it would be just a small screen and that the waves would bombard on it as you speak, and then that would move like this, and then that would convert those waves into the transverse waves and would get transmitted. That was how even in the telephones and all that was getting done. So you can see by sound. But suppose that faculty is also not available, then you see as you see in dreams, by mind, just by mind you see. This is a question that goes on in the court of King Janaka, where this great scholarly lady is asking question after question to sage Yajnavalkya. And then ultimately she says, well, in what light then we see if this mind, light of mind is also not present? Well, the light of reason, light of intellect will be able to make you see that. But if that is also not there, he says, by the light of the self, by the light of the all-pervading self, you see, and says that that light is never ever extinguished. That light is always present. Not only that, all lights that you see, they are just reflections of that. It is transmitted from that. So the light of the self, if that light is not there, nothing of these lights will function. That light never goes off though. It is always there because it is self-luminous. It is not illumined by some other cause. Some other cause, when it illumines it, then if that cause changes, then the light will change. Like the electricity is powering these lights. If the electricity fails, these lights also will fail. So if there is a cause-effect relation in getting some light, then that is fallible. Because if the cause falters, the effect will also falter. But this light of the self, it is ever present, never ever can go away. It is independent of everything. So this is this light. In Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, you read about it, like the famous verse in Kathopanishad, that it is na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhati kutoyam agnihi तमेव भान्तम अनुभूति सर्वम तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति. A great statement, very, what I should say, very enthusiastic way of presenting to us that our inner light is that which makes everything light. So that is the light. So when that shines, then because of its light, everything in the world shines because of that. So Swayambhuva Manu is praising all this, that it is that all things of this world of moving and unmoving objects are pervaded by the Lord. Everything in the world, therefore, belongs to the Lord. So, offering everything to Him, enjoy what is left with you by Him. That is called taking prasad. That why partaking prasad is considered very purifying, because it is given by the Lord. You offer everything to Lord, and then Lord gives you back something, and then as a holy gift from God, you take it. So therefore, about this kind of food, it is that is same like in Catholics. They have that sacrament, that it is. But here we don't consider it as the blood and flesh of Jesus. That's all. It is, but it is something that is pervaded with God's blessings. So God is there in that, so take it. Don't say, no, 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 I cannot. If you have some digestion or stomach problem, take at least a little bit. So it is, that is, you give, take what God gives. Not like that two these preachers were discussing, two preachers, they were in different, the pastors of different places. So one asked, well, how do you divide the offerings that the members give? How much goes to the church and how much you get? He said, in our church it is 50-50 arrangement, that the church takes 50% I get 50%. And this other preacher said, "Oh, this is sacrilegious. This is terrible. How could you do that? It all belongs to God. How could you divide that mine 50 and yours 50? All belongs to God. What I do is, therefore, whatever is collection, I throw up. And whatever comes down, that is given by God, isn't it? So I take all of that." So that is cheating, of course, but the principle is that what comes as a sacrificial food from God, that is, you accept that. So this is the told here. Do not covet the wealth of others. Who else but he is the possessor of all the wealth of this world? Uh, He, the universal subject, who sees everything but whom no one can see. He whose uh, consciousness is ever uh, unfailing, even when the individual modes of consciousness arising in it subside. In him, the support of all, the unaffected being who is described as the bird of beautiful plumage in the Vedas, we seek shelter from. Mm, that it is the that light and that consciousness never fails. Individual separate consciousness fails from time to time. Like when you go to deep sleep, then your consciousness is not obvious there, not working at all while you are in that state. Or when somebody dies, the consciousness there in that body is gone. You cannot, that doesn't see anything. But the consciousness of God is all pervading, and everything becomes conscious when that gets the reflection of God's consciousness. So this is, and moreover, as we saw, that I take refuge in that. The taking refuge in the Lord is the way for rescue. We shall be seeing it later today. They, and while then he was doing this meditation, was chanting this great prayer, uh, that he is the origin of everything. Everything emerges through him while he remains intact. He doesn't change, but all changes are projected on him. That's a very important, great idea, friends, that this world is appearing from that divine. But in that process of creation, there is nothing happening. The God remains the same as he was ever. So that is the uh, main thing there, that is called Maya. Nothing changes, but you see, that's all. And like one thing gets seen as so many things by different people. It is, there is that story that the bird was in the somewhere in the woods. A bird was doing cock 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 cock. In one place I was staying there, a little forest there, and there was this bird. I always used to hear that cook 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 cook. cook, 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 cook. So somebody told a nice story about it, that when a wrestler was going to have his wrestling match that day, so he heard that the bird is telling him to practice all this, keep on doing this exercises and all that. Yeah, have practice. So that is what he heard in that cook, 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 cook. Dand baithak kasrat, dand baithak kasrat. In Hindi he was telling. So then that fellow went. Then another man, he was walking for quite some time, and it was kind of, he was feeling hungry. He had a lunch box with him. So he started hearing cook, 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 cook. Uh, take lunch now, take lunch now, take lunch now. So he heard in that this, take lunch now, take lunch now. The bird was saying the same thing. But he heard because he was hungry, take lunch now. So he said, the bird is telling me it is time to take lunch. Okay, he took the lunch like that. Then uh, some body who was going to depose in the court as a witness. So he was going, he heard cook, 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 cook. He said in Bengali, Hakkathako, Hakkathako, Hakkathako. And tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth. So now different people heard the bird was not changing anything. Cook, 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 cook. All the different things were derived from that. Without, the bird was not at all made aware. Why did you say this? No, they heard whatever they wanted to hear. So that is how we see God alone. There is nothing else in the world, that nothing changes. But we see so many changes, some favorable, some unfavorable, some startling, some regular ones, all being seen, that it is cold now. December, so cold has to be there now. Our Sarvagatananji is that I told you many times, that when I came newly to this country, I asked, how is the climate here in this part of the world? He said, always changes. Nothing can be certainly told, except these two things. Remember these two things. Mm. On January 1st, it is never 100 degrees. And on July 1st, it is never 0 degrees. These two things are fixed. In between, whatever can happen. So it is. So these things change. We become aware of this. Yeah, now it is December, so going to be cold and all that. So when it becomes July, oh, now it's going to be warm, very warm, and so forth. So these are expected things. Sometimes they formations are expected, sometimes unexpected. Many unexpected things happen. So it is all that is the play of God. Nothing really is happening at all. God is just doing that cook, 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 cook. Now you interpret whatever it is. So that is how this Swayambhu Manu prays, that it is, you never change, that it is. Mm. And so these rishis, for attaining to that bliss of worklessness, that is the state of transcending all changes, like Ishvara himself, at first do work as an offering to Ishvara, and that is called karma yoga, yoga of action. that the goal is to get united with the all-pervading reality, and there is no work that can happen there because nothing is changing, so no work there. But to attain to that state, we have to work in a proper methodical way. That is the yoga. That running away from work will not do. Not working haphazardly and in a wrong way will that also will not work. But work as worship. Swami Shivananda Mahapurush Maharaj, Sri Ramakrishna's direct disciple, used to say, work to transcend work. Very nice philosophical message. Work to transcend work. So that is what he prays here. Uh, though the Supreme Lord is working always, he is not bound by it because he is ever satisfied with his inherent bliss. Mm. How you may ask that worklessness and how God works all the time? It is a great mystery. That how you say that the God is working all the time? Anybody answering? Anybody, any of you can offer an answer? What Jitendra? Uh, why God, it is said that God works all the time. Jitendra, that he studies a lot and listens to all retreats and lectures, so he should be able to immediately give the answer. Uh, so, but is he really working? It is said here that he is working all the time without getting bound by work. Yeah. It is who is working otherwise? We say we are working, but no, it is without him you cannot work. It is he who is working through all work, but yet he is not working. That is the fun of it. He is not working and yet he alone is working. So that is how the Ishavasya Upanishad says, Tad ejati tan naijati. Ejati means it moves. Mm, it moves and it doesn't move. It does not move. So this, in the same sentence, these two contradictions. This contradiction comes, moves and doesn't move. It works and yet doesn't work. So this is the appearance. Apparently works but actually doesn't work. That is the meaning there, that there is some nice that a picture generated through a program. Uh, if you see it on the computer, you see a wheel that is actually seen as moving. Ah, you can get a print of it. When you look at it, it will be seen moving, uh, and yet it is not moving at all. You know, because the paper is in your hand, it cannot go anywhere, and yet you see that the pattern is moving at a high speed. So that is a visual deception. So it is work and no work. Both are happening here. So it is, though the Supreme Lord is working always, he is not bound by it because he is ever satisfied with his inherent bliss. He has no want to be satisfied through work. Those who follow the example of the Lord will also not fall into bondage. And this is just a translation or paraphrasing the message in Bhagavad Gita, that it is the one who knows, Name namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha evam yo mam abhijananti karma bhir nasabadhyate. That the one who knows that Lord like this, that uh, he does not get embellished by the work. Why? The cause is in the next phrase. Name karma phale spruha. He doesn't have any desire. And therefore, and then next line is very important for us. That evam yo mam abhijananti. The one who knows me like this. Ah, also doesn't get bound by work. How does it happen? Suppose somebody sees that Swami is doing like this, like this, like this. But by knowing, he doesn't become automatically like that. That how? By knowing that Lord is not bound by actions and he has no desire for the results. The one who knows this gets completely absolved from the work oneself. How? Shankaracharya gives the commentary there that knowing as your own self. When you know that Lord is your own self, now you also therefore don't get bound by work. Now the God is not that God who doesn't uh, get bound by work, but that God is right this, my inner reality. So I also don't get bound by the work. But you have to have that the condition. Namam karmani limpanti. That no works bind me because I have no desire for the results. So if we have no desires for the results, we also will not get bound by the work. This is, here it is given the same message that so while he was having this hymn, this prayer done, and was having his eyes closed, some demons, they decided to attack and eat him. Nice piece of flesh to be eaten. So they pounced on him, and then to save, it is seeing them so resolved, the all pervading Hari, God embodied in the as Yajna and accompanied by his sons, the celestials known as Yamas, destroyed these demonical beings and protected uh, the heavens. So this is the act that Yajna is that protects the when something is done in the spirit of this sacrifice, then that is the way to do the actions. Always do it as satisfied, as a sacrifice. So you do not seek any results, you do there as offerings. And then yamas, yama means there are various meanings associated with this word yama. One is, of course, the lord of death, the one who kills. So it is the yama has the authority to kill. So it is therefore Sometimes it is said that the doctor is the elder brother of Yama. Doctor kills, but is a bit superior to the god of death, because god of death only takes away the life. The doctor first takes away the money and then life. So he has actually more capability. So it is the that just fun. It is. Then it is uh, they rescued this sage. Now the third Manu, fourth Manu, these stories are there. But then in between, the Parikshit king asked, "O son of Vyasa, I would like to know from you how God saved the lordly elephant who was in the grip of a crocodile. Amongst descriptions of men and things whose wherein uh, things whose wherein the Lord of holy fame is extolled are the most attractive, sanctifying, rewarding, and auspicious. So, how Lord came to rescue that very mighty elephant from the jaws of crocodile. That is a very famous story that many great poets have written poetry on this, that it is when they Surdas writes, for example, that when this elephant got caught uh, in the jaw by a big crocodile, who rescued? Nobody was coming to rescue. God therefore rescued him. So it is, I want to hear that story. The reason is I want to hear again and again these sanctifying accounts of the sportive actions of the Lord. So you see the God functioning around us, in us, and rescuing us. So, this is a very famous and allegorical, metaphorical tale that is given here, that it is a hugely powerful elephant. It represents the big ego of beings. Do we have? Uh, Charlie, you don't have? You have, huh? Okay. Yeah, so everybody has this problem of ego. So it is that this ego is the biggest obstacle in spiritual life, rather, the only obstacle. Now, this elephant, a huge elephant, he uh, is representing that, very much sure of his immense power, great pride of strength. And then what happens? You become heedless to everything. You do not care about anything. You feel you are the lord of everything. You can do whatever you want. That kind of situation happens. So this elephant is described there, that it is that it is first, it gives a big description of a huge mountain. Now these are all, allegories, that, well, this is, the world is huge, in that there were three mountains, and the height, Everest and all will be just small, tiny in comparison with this. it is given that there was a famous mountain called Trikuta, 10,000 yojanas in length. Means the height was huge, about 10,000 miles height. Imagine. Ah, it is a huge, huge height. So it is that normally no aeroplanes go that height. It is only measured in feet, you can imagine. So 10,000 yojanas. Now that kind of huge height these mountains had, and they were lustrous. uh, One was they had three big peaks. A description is there. One was of gold, another was silver, another was another shining metal like iron. So with that, their shine was spreading all over that region, and there were nice lakes, a lot of animals there, different creatures, lot of caves, a description of this world basically. All different creatures staying there, and thus very beautiful this world. Why it entangles us? Because we see it as very beautiful. And the more beautiful we get, more attached, attracted, and entangled. Thus, it is the beautiful mountain, and there it is described that it is the all the music playing, these celestial singers and drum players and different instrument players. They were having their great continuously going on music concerts, and uh, as if this is the descriptions of heaven. Continuous music going on. Uh, Now Mark Twain has taken an objection on that. Mark Twain always has humor like that. He said, "Oh, who wants to go to heaven where constantly there will be music and music and music? Even the great music lovers can, enjoy it 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. Well, after say an hour or 2 hours, they can't stand it. It is the music, stop it, they would say. One young girl, I told her, she sang a song. Said, "Wow, your voice is so nice." She said, "Go and tell my parents, because they always tell me, stop it, enough, enough, stop it." So, but this mountain was such that always in that whole region, the constant music, the idea of music, there is merriment. Constant merriment was going on. So, it is. And then, after that, describing that, in one of the valleys of that mountains was a garden belonging to the high souled and worshipful uh, Varuna named uh, Rituman. So, and then in that there was this all types of fruits, and there was one lake full of golden lotuses and so many other fragrant, beautiful flowers. Uh, the lake in that region was beautiful, and then was beautified by the wealth of aquatic flowers and given the names of. It is interesting to see during the time of Bhagavatam, they knew the names of so many plants. This is this whole description tells how many types of different trees they knew, how many types of flowers and fruits they knew. I do not know any of these. Maybe a few of these I can recognize. Somebody was asking me, Swami, what particular tree is that? I said, I more or less can say that this is the stem of the tree, and this is a branch, this is a leaf, and this is a fruit. That much I won't confuse a fruit for a leaf. That much only I know. But which particular, don't ask me. So it is, but there are many who know exactly what it is. They have studied it. So, and they are very much interested in that. So different things. Our Swami Ishtananda is so much interested in birds. So this bird is this bird is this. Do you know this bird? I said, I know only that since it is flying, it is bird. That's all. I don't know the names. So it is, but interesting to see hundreds of varieties are listed. And then this once a lordly elephant, the leader of his herd, very powerful, had been, bothered by a lot of this scorching sun, and came to this lake firstly to quench the thirst and then cool the body by having a good long dip in it. So got into it. He had a big herd, including females, and then the little elephants, all of them were following him. And then all others were having their water drinking from more or less from the shore. But this elephant was completely fearless, was so much as thinking that I am strong. Who is stronger than me? Isn't that ego? Who in the world can be stronger than me? I can do anything. And so, uh, and totally inebriated by the feelings of their own invincibility. Yeah, that is how this elephant is described. And this elephant, uh, like that elephant, didn't know that there are dangers lurking there. If you are strong, this world always has a stronger fellow than you. It is everybody, a strong fellow has a stronger fellow. An intelligent person, there is a more intelligent than that person. It is so. This is always that never think that I am the most brilliant person. No, it is there will be somebody more brilliant than you are. So this strong elephant goes inside the water, and this big ego power gets into the jaws of more powerful crocodile of the world. That it is this crocodile, these circumstances, this worldliness, it catches hold of us. The elephant foot was caught in the terrible jaws of crocodile. I don't know how many of you got the opportunity to see the jaw of crocodile from close quarters. Really, really very scary. It is in one region. There is, I told that story, but it's very interesting that there is a sanctuary of various animals there. Tigers are there, and then these monkeys, and big lake is there, not very big, but it is the crocodile park. The crocodiles are put there. So there is a sign there. Swimming strictly prohibited. And the underneath is written, that is important, survivors will be prosecuted. Nothing, then nobody has to be remain there, because it is unlikely that anybody will survive. Goes into that, and that's the end of it. The crocodile is an animal like that, very, very powerful, especially in water. So this elephant gets into that, and then uh, the pride of the ego elephant gets crushed there. First tried to shake off. Oh, with my strong leg, I can kick out that elephant, that crocodile easily. No, could not. Uh, he could not shake off his foot free in spite of summoning all his strength. He could not find a way to escape the crocodile. The crocodile was gaining on him and dragging him deeper and deeper. And now, seeing that there is no other hope, he started praying. Mm. Otherwise, we always think that somebody else will help me. And this Bhagavatam describes all the members of his herd. They were just watching. They were not coming to the rescue of this fellow. Could not. It is not possible. It was not possible for them to come to rescue of this fellow. So they could not come, and he himself so powerful, though could not get rescued. So now is the time and the occasion when you are sure to pray, when there is no other alternative. You surrender to God. That is how Bhagavad Gita begins actually. So this is we will see the prayer of the elephant very illuminating, but in the next class, because now it is 8:29 already, so we shall conclude with that closing prayer. So it is, and then if you have questions, please feel free to ask. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Anybody has any questions? No, this is a simple story, nothing to ask question, isn't it? Uh, any question upstairs?
Yes. 2 web questions. First question is from Arvind Bhagwat.
From whom? Arvind Bhagwat. Huh? Okay.
Yes.
Namaskar, Arvind Kaka.
Pranam Maharaj. Would it be proper to say that the sun dispels darkness, but from its own perspective, the sun does not know what darkness is?
Oh, yes, from its own perspective, it doesn't know this kind of darkness that we have. but the sun also becomes dark. There is this very beautiful Sufi poetry by Hafiz. Excellent, when uh, one day sun discovers that it is only a shadow. Imagine that luminous thing of which the shadow is as bright as sun. How luminous that being must be. So all these apparent lights, they are the reflections of that supreme light, even the light of sun. Thank you. Yeah.
Second question is from Beverly Collins.
Namaskar, Beverly.
There are two parts. Pranam. What qualifies something as an austerity, and can any hardship endured by the devotee be done as an austerity?
A very good and very deep question. What is called austerity? Any kind of body torture is not called austerity in spiritual sense. It is the austerity is actually, that like conserving the power for some other goal. Like suppose somebody is saving money because I want to buy a Ferrari. So I cannot bring up all that Ferrari money. How much does it cost, Jitendra? Huh? No idea. You never tried to buy one. Okay, okay, yeah. So must be something over $200,000. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Huh? You know? Okay, so it is. So then sees that, well, I cannot pay that much amount. Even the down payment, I don't have money for that. So it is. So let me keep on saving. So cut down on the food, cut down on other expenses, so that you keep on saving more and more and more and more, so that you get that much amount. So we keep on saving uh, for such purpose, our strength, so that we do not go to other enjoyments, torture the body, so that the body can experience more and more strength of a different type. So that is one form of austerity. But this austerity, like Hiranyakashipu, did so much austerities, but for worldly gain. Same thing with Ravana. Ravana did tremendous austerities to please Shiva. Now these are all demonical austerities for some worldly gains. Same austerities. When sages do it, that is for self purification. The Vedantic definition of austerity is that which purifies us of desires. That purification is the result of the proper austerity. So, in Bhagavad Gita, there are three types of austerities described. So, of that, there is the Sattvika type austerity, and that is important. That is not just torturing the body, but refraining or restraining the mind from running to sense enjoyments, so that now all the organs, they get disciplined like a dog is disciplined. Dog is trained like that, that stick and carrot like technique is applied. Hey, that jump, jump. If the dog jumps, is given a treat. If it doesn't jump, jump. So the dog gets the signals. So it is that training. So when the senses are running to the different so-called pleasurable objects, pull that back. Don't let them go. Mm. Train them. Then once trained, they will not go at all. Unless you tell, they won't go. So this is how the austerity is described in spiritual sense. It purifies the mind of all these tendencies which bind us. So that is the meaning of austerity. Uh, yeah. There were two questions, isn't it, by her? All done. Thank you, thank you. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल।